So yeah, it's gonna be a film thing real quick. April 19th. I'm gonna say roughly about 4 months later, because I went back. From what we understand, with just off the top of the hat and thinking of it, um, I already called Digital Storm, and they were like, "So you got this around October, right?" I'm like, "Nah, more close to Christmas time." So sure enough, it's been still like 3 or 4 months later. So I'm only finally getting around to it now because of everything that's gone wrong with them before. Uh, I got sick, and my mother got sick. Troubles, family here, and then the quarantine and some other stuff. And plus, it's literally gotten to the point that when you spend like $7,000 on a computer, that there's a bit of an emotional impact when it's 2 years later and things just kept going wrong, and I just wasn't up to facing it again. Well, April 19th, it's a spring day, cleaning conditions and whatnot, so I cleared the spot back for it. So I was like, all right, let's get it out of the box. And, yeah, I already heard chunks of things falling the moment I was pulling it free from the box. And that was after I already felt like a little thing in the corner here under the cowl that something was loose. I'm like, okay, well, maybe someone just forgot and left a screw up there. Because leaving screw ups is a high thing of Digital Storm Zing. So that was a thing, but I was like, okay, well, let's pull it up. And more things just sounded like they were falling. So I'm pretty sure a panel's broken. They said not even to pull the cowl off, because I told them I didn't even pull the cowl off before I called them this time, because I know the signs of something going wrong with Digital Storm, besides the delivery. So let's see. You probably won't see it very well here, but you might hear that noise. That's chunks of whatever broke in there falling around in the box. It could be glass, it could be chunks of plastic. Something got messed up either way. And when you're moving this thing around, just putting it down, you can hear it just kind of shifting about. So something's blatantly broken. We don't know yet what. And they're probably going to be like, oh, why didn't you check it out? You know why? Because every time I get something from Digital Storm, something's broken. And I want to very much have it all the more documented this time. I should have started up even before I was pulling it out of the box. I even told myself I was going to do such, but then I forgot about it. I was actually feeling pretty good today, and partly why I've not come around to deal with this thing a bunch of times is because, well, 2 years of things going wrong with Digital Storm computers, and I never wanted to ruin my mood worse than what life has already done to me, because it was hard just to get this thing even out of the box. I need someone to hold it these days, and so I very much had a witness. But yeah, I could go on, but already this is about 3 minutes. I'm going to upload this raw to YouTube, and I can deal with the other things later. As it is, I get silly little children YouTube comments when I've talked to other people like, oh, people get only one thing wrong with the company, and then they spread lies and lies for like a lifetime. Like, I think it takes a little bit more than that for people to go in that hard on a company. And it's not generally over one thing. That's like saying Randy Pitchford is a saint other than one time. Yeah, no. So, I'll wrap it up here. This is just a quick upload. Something's gone wrong with the Digital Storm computer yet again. This is still Unit 2, because Unit 1 was a throwaway, because it got sent back. And I told them to do it, from scratch. And I thought, maybe they would get it right. But the first time I got this computer, yeah, no such luck. Last time I got this computer back, it had problems just writing the event logs of what was wrong. They didn't even take the time in the office to check if everything updated properly before they sent it out. So how much of a check are you really running on these computers when someone doesn't even take a moment to check the updates on event logs before it leaves the store? That's unheard of. Well, I guess not unheard of now, but it is what it is. It's the brand that it is, and so far not one computer has ever shown up here without problems. Why am I still with it? Well, if you spent $6,000 initially, you too would probably just try and make it work. Because, person in my condition, I don't really want to have to deal with the legal system out of California, where these guys are from. And, but you know what? It might just come down to internet justice. The best I can do is really just document my things all the further, unlock my videos past about what I dealt with in Digital Storm, and hope that there's something that can be done. This time, however, I'll even give them one more benefit of the doubt that maybe this time it really wasn't their fault, because something breaking and shipping, it could actually be a thing this time. And technically that doesn't fall on Digital Storm. I took longer than I should have to get it out, but a lot of that has just been from emotionally not want to deal with it anymore. We're talking $7,000 in, and the thing has always had a problem. I might see what the damage is, and the next video will be, probably the uncowling of this thing, so we can find out what real damage it is. Right now, we can go by what you hear. Oh, yeah, that's probably a glass panel that's broken and shattered and pushing stuff down. So, I don't know. Maybe they'll tell me that I should just remove the panel and see if I can get it up and running anyway, and see if that is a good thing. But I'm going to go exactly by their word, as usual. Granted, going by their word, left me with a computer once, a brick over the weekend that shut down, that a guy was then supposed to say, oh, well, we'll get back to you Monday, and then never did, because he was out and didn't tell anyone else to take over a shift. Yeah, we'll find out what happens. Because right now, I would kind of hope that, given the fact that, this has all happened with Digital Storm again and again and again, that even if it's for once not their fault, that maybe they would see me part way, because as it is, they charged me for a new power supply and processor, even though that when the things went wrong with them, easily had to have been under a year. I thought I took care of the problems after it showed up, but it was more issues. And that becomes yet another debate of PCs versus consoles. Yeah, PCs will forever be able to be more power, but how much are you really paying for that power is in consideration to a mass-produced console. With a console, they have to fix it within that space of a year. The law will make sure if there's mass production things wrong. PCs, often not mass production anymore. And if they are, then they say, oh, there's compatibility issues with these components, and somehow they can place that on you. Consoles won't do that. If there's a thing wrong with the console, they're obligated. And even if it was outside of warranty, they still got to make that console work for a repair price under what the console's worth. Otherwise, you just buy a new one. And then even if your console was flattened by a truck, it's not going to be more than $600. $600 is your processor on any one of these given PCs, if you're lucky. $600 is just one of what likely will be 2 GPUs on any one of these PCs that's high-end like this one is. But, I'm sure I might get a comment, oh, you're just making it up, you can't say anything through the cal. Oh, don't worry, that video's coming. It absolutely is coming. But this is just a primer. You heard what was ringing on the inside, and I'm sure there'll be a bunch of conspiracy theories. Oh, you probably just did it to yourself and hit you with a hammer. Yeah, does this really look like that? I have better things to do than want to strain over this, because honestly, if I don't like what I'm hearing, I'll probably try and get it up and running, probably with a local shop, and I'll probably, if it's working, use this very computer to pull my files together, and, oh, you can even hear more stuff dropping. And just go ahead and document my full experience. I might even see about editing a whole lot of things together and make a full-on documentary out of it, because it's been an unruly situation that's taken up about over 2 years of my life, I think. Just this fucked up computer. So, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, not just this computer, 2 computers. So my 2 years of, I'm sorry, we'll curve the language and say, this gosh darn situation that has been over 2 years of my life with Digital Storm. So, it is what it is. I guess the worst they can do is try and slap me with a lawsuit for talking smack, because companies have done that. I don't think they'll do that, but if they do, well, they're going to, basically have a situation with a guy who has a hard time getting around, and it's not going to look good in optics. Especially when I can pull the other people of interest together who have also had bad experiences on YouTube. And you can just look up my experience with Digital Storm. And unfortunately, a good chunk of the videos tend to be more negative than positive, especially when it seems to be anyone who has any kind of experience or past with computers. So, here's what it is. I keep saying I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to do it now. Anyways, if you watched, thanks. This is going to be one of those shorter ones. So, and it was already 10 minutes. Goodbye.